Well, here we go. Episode 28 of the Hunting Landman podcast. I apologize, y'all. We have been so busy having fun and selling real estate and hunting and everything else that we have not updated y'all in a while. Even my mom got on to me. She said, hey, I went to get on your podcast the other day and there is no new podcast. So we are fixing that today, Mom. Episode 28. It's deer season, y'all. It really is. We've been having a blast hunting. Have we had a lot of success?
No.
Depends on how you measure it. I measure it in rack bucks and deer kills, and we have not been killing a bunch. Kind of get y'all up to speed. Before we do that, of course, this episode of the podcast is brought to you by Southern Ag Credit. They take great care of us, and even in these uncertain times of real estate, they are still loaning money to our clients and making good deals every day. Southern Ag Credit, they do a great job. All right. So the last time we updated y'all, we were about to head on our elk hunt, and we were getting ready for velvet season, the first ever velvet season, and we're going to kind of give y'all updates. First of all, the elk hunt. We went on that mid-September, right before the velvet season, and man, I tell you what, the more I go elk hunting, the more it moves to the top of my list of my favorite things to do in the hunting woods for sure. Everybody shot. We brought a client of ours out there. He hunted. This is Ty Petty. He hunted for 30 minutes, then missed. Shot right over the top of about a 300-inch, maybe better bull right at daylight. And then he was down in the dumps, and 30 minutes later, he shot a good 5x5. Now, this area that we went to is not necessarily known for giant bulls. A lot of elk. And a really good hunt. And Caleb, my co-host here, Caleb was with us. And before I go any further, Caleb, your first experience elk hunting, give me just a quick, hey, what'd you think about it?
Well, you've talked about it before. It's mystical. That's the word to describe it. Like, when they bugle, it's like a dadgum T-Rex. I mean, you can feel it in your bones.
I defined it good.
Yeah,
it's like
you did a really good job.
T-Rex / tugboat.
Yep, that's actually perfect. I mean, look, it's awesome. And we weren't even up in, like, the mountains. See, we were down on the bottom of the mountain where you and I were hunting. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like we still didn't even really get the full experience. Now, you did when you went with Ryan.
And I'll get into that in a minute.
Right. But, yeah, it was awesome. And I can definitely see where that would take over whitetail hunting for me.
It really is so much fun. So, like I said, everybody shot. Funny story. Caleb probably don't want me telling this story, but it's fun because it worked out.
Oh,
okay,
Lord.
So we get to, we travel and get there, flights and everything like that. Okay, so we're headed into the elk woods. We get out of this little Zuzu Trooper drop they dropped us off in. I set my bow down. And everything's hectic. We're trying to be quiet. But I told Caleb, I said, hey, don't step on my bow. I got to grab my backpack. And he didn't hear me. It just happens. Probably busy, nervous, excited, everything.
I was in the middle. I had the camera going. I'm filming. I'm trying to make sure I'm getting a good shot and everything. I didn't even feel myself step on it.
And finally, I looked over. I said, you're stepping on my bow. And as soon as I picked it up, I could tell my sight was bent. It was no question. And it was way before daylight, so I probably said some words I shouldn't have said. And we got back to the camp, and this is a kind of a crazy story. We got back to the camp, and me and Caleb, before daylight in the dark at the camp, we got on that sight, and we bent it back. I said, okay, I think it's straight. Then I went to shooting, and everything was exactly on. We bent it back perfectly. I guess the way that thing was, we bent it back and it didn't go past the equilibrium of being, that's a big word, of being straight. And sure enough, I backed it up to, before daylight with flashlights on the target at 30 yards, I was drilling dots. I said, okay, we're good to go. Let's go hunting. And really, we only missed about 20 minutes of our elk hunt with that, which was crazy. And I don't think we missed anything in that 20 minutes. But I think we shot on day 3.
Day 3, yeah.
Day 3. Okay, elk comes in, and you'll see this. We'll use it on an episode because this is real life what happens bow hunting. Elk comes in. He was out there bugling. You could hear him breathing, and you could hear him raking trees and bugling. And I made, just like an old turkey, it's so much like turkey hunting, I made one little cow call. and he shut up. I think he bugled one more time. And then we looked up, and it was right where we wanted him to come. This dude walks in, big 5x5, walks in to 6 or 7 yards. I'm getting drawn back, and he turns to go towards a water hole, and I stop him, and I shot him exactly where I was aiming. The bull, he was 10 yards. The bull runs through the water, throws water 30 yards on each side of the water hole, runs out, and we are ever more pumped up. All right, we give it 45 minutes probably, and we go down, find the arrow, find blood, find this trail, and then we started finding a lot of blood. A lot of blood. I kept looking up the trail. There he is. Where is he at? Where's he at? Where's he at? I'm talking about big piles, white stuff on top of it, just piles and piles. And we finally got to a fence, and we called the guys we were hunting with. We said, hey, y'all come down here. We'll track him. I thought the bull would be another 100 yards. Well, about a mile later and about 3 days later, we have still never found my bull. Didn't find it the whole trip. I looked for it. Me and Caleb went out at daylight every morning, listening for coyotes, looking for signs, sitting other water holes, looking for birds. We gave that bull its due. Honestly, after looking back at it, and you'll see it when we do the episode, the bull turned a little bit at the last second, and I hit him right behind the shoulder, but he was turned a little bit much. I think I got one lung shooting a good fixed blade broad. He had 3 blade, one lung, and those big animals. Will he die? I think probably. Did he die while we were there? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it may have to be infection. They can live with one lung, I don't know. I really don't know.
It was, and I felt terrible. I felt like we gave him his due. I didn't feel as bad as I would if I would have made him. I shot him right where I was aiming. What I didn't do is, I didn't calculate for how far he had turned. And look, if I showed y'all listening right now, if I showed you where the shot was, a quick clip,
like in full time,
yeah, you would be like, oh yeah, perfect. Just like we were. And everybody says the same thing. And then when you slow it down, you're like, okay.
Well, like right after you shot, I literally told you on camera, dude, you hit him in the 10 ring. It looked perfect. And then, I don't know. I didn't have an answer for it until we slowed the footage down and looked. Yeah,
it was a humbling experience. I had a blast. I hate that I'm not going to get to feed my family elk meat, but Ryan said he's going to give me some of his. So maybe we'll have some elk meat. But a fun hunt. I can't wait to go back next year. Going back hopefully with the same guys. A great area, great hunt, and guys, fun. It's just like turkey hunting a 900-pound T-Rex. That's it. I love it. But anyway, okay. So we had me hunting, we had Ty hunting, we had Bear Cup, his first elk hunt while he was shooting. Now he's been with us and filmed us kill several. He's filmed me kill 2. He's filmed Ryan kill 2. Oh yeah, he didn't film me kill one this year because I did kind of. Oh, we'll get to that. So Bear Cub, Ryan is a little more experienced with calling and stuff in Bear Cub, and in elk hunting, you kind of got to hunt as a team. You gotta be able to call and move and stuff like that. So anyway, Ryan called in. Let's see if I get this right. Ryan called in a pretty darn good bull for Bear Cub, and he passed him.
The passing assassin.
Passing assassin. He's been hanging around Ryan too much, so he passed him. Then a day later, Ryan said he missed one that he said may have been 5 to 7 inches bigger, like literally irrelevant bigger.
So another pretty
good bull. Yeah. So then Ryan said, you know what? I got to go hunting. So Ryan, they split up, and Bear Cub finally slipped up and killed a pretty good bull. Nothing incredible, but any archery elk is a good bull, and he killed a good bull. And so then it was the last day, and we had kind of felt like we'd given our bull everything we could. And I've had more experience than Bear Cub and Caleb at calling and doing things like that. I said, listen, I'll go film Ryan if y'all will go listen for coyotes for my bull or whatever. That way we'll maximize our time. And so, man, I ain't gonna lie, I had a good feeling when we left the camp that afternoon. We had one afternoon.
Yeah, you told us to get the knife.
I told the outfitter and I told Caleb and Ryan, I said, y'all just sharpen your knife. We'll be back in a minute. And I meant it. So we got there, and it's like you just watch these TV shows and stuff. Say, oh, they always kill on the last day. Well, the last day is like you get that little more aggressive. You get that, you know what, we going in to kill. You get the kind of maybe that little bit that makes the difference. And on this scenario, I don't know if that was it or we just said we're going to kill this sucker.
Oh no, it was definitely y'all were crawling through the weeds.
Well, okay,
and
I'm gonna get to that. Don't give away this is as fun a elk hunt as I've ever had right here. Okay, so we step out the truck, and the bulls had not been bugling earlier, and one bugles to our right, and one bugles to our left. Now, one of our, it was just like a semi-guided hunt. They usually drop you off, but on this trip, our guy came with us, and he. As soon as we stepped out the truck, okay, one bugle to the right, one bugle to the left. And so we start going down this one left. It was an area where Bear Cover Ride had been on a lot of bulls. And they had this big bull they called the limping bull. They had been hunting all week. Just a big, mature bull kind of running that part of the mountain. And this was up in the mountain in the Aspens and a big water hole down below. Well, we're sitting there and kind of sitting on this little logging road type of thing and waiting on him bugle again once we got close, and he finally did, and we went right at him. The wind was right, which is everything, and so I said, all right, well, we got kind of up on the side of the mountain. We felt like, all right, we're listening, easing in real slow, and all of a sudden he bugled, and Ryan said, whoa, 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 whoa. I looked at his hand signals, and I said, okay, me and Ryan have hunted together enough. I know what this means. Like, he is looking at him. Sure enough, I peek around Ryan, and I can see it at just top of his horn. Just big, gnarly tops. I said, oh, yeah. And we're like 130 yards from this bull at this point. And so anyway, we used the terrain. We ducked down below the hill. Our guide went behind there and waited on us to signal him, and it was going to start cow calling. Well, I got the camera. I was filming, and I got up there with Ryan. I got to a certain point, and I said, Ryan, I was motioning you crawl in front of me 30, 40 yards. So he crawled in front of me. Anyway, I motioned back to the guide, start yelping. Start yelping at him.
Give me yelp.
Yeah. And anyway, so he started yelping at him. And, he would bugle, but he'd never bugle like a full bugle once we got up there. It was more of just a kind of a moan, kind of come see me. And he was laying down. I could see his tops. I was filming him the whole time. And it was at this point, we're like an hour left of daylight. And so we're easing. I told Ryan, I said, keep crawling. Just, we got the wind right at this point. I know how to kill that big boss gobbler. We've done this 100 times. So keep working. Well, finally, Ryan motioned at me, and he said, he was doing, if you can see, he was doing this hand motion like bugle. And I only had my cow call with me. So I put the camera in my mouth, and I crawl 30, 40 yards back to the backpacks because we done get down to fighting weight. We get back there, and I get my bugle. And, I got an audience here. I got a big bull. I got Ryan, and I got our guy back here calling, which everybody can call.
A lot of pressure.
And I let loose a good solid bugle, sounded like probably a nice 5x5. That's what I felt like. I didn't want to be like the 350-inch bull, and I didn't want to be a spike. I wanted to be right in that sweet spot, and I felt like that's where I was.
Felt like Cubs bull.
Yeah. I think I was trying to go for a little bump. Yeah. But anyway, so I bugled, and I was below like some oak brush stuff, and I started breaking sticks with my legs and raking. And at that time, the guy had seen me. He figured out, okay, they needed me to bugle. So he bugled. I got the camera in my mouth, and I crawled back. And it rained that day, hadn't it? Yeah. And it was wet. Yeah, so I'm soaking wet. I'm crawling through all this stuff. And finally, I get up there, and I've got the camera off the tripod because of the situation. And now we're looking at like, I don't know, 20 minutes of daylight left. And we're sitting there, and I'm filming him. Finally, he's, yeah. When I got back up, I said, oh no, he stood up. And, I'm sitting there filming him, and it's getting dark back in there under the trees where he's at. And he starts working his way to us, and he gets, but when Ryan, I was 40 yards from Ryan, 30 yards from Ryan. And I'm going to say Ryan was 70 yards from the bull this whole time. Mm-hmm. And so, but I had brush all in front of me, and when I'd stand up, I had some little oak trees I was I was standing up behind, so I was safe there. So I'm filming the bull, trying to get my light right. It's hard, and then the bull goes left hard, and I can't even see the bull. And I didn't know then that Ryan had a good shot, good lane down through there to the left. So as I still got the camera on record, the bull's working in, and as he's working in, I'm holding the camera in my mouth. I'm trying to grab my cow call to maybe pull him in that last 5-10 yards because I can't see him at this point. And all I see is a big green luminoc, whop, or nocturnal, excuse me, a big nocturnal, whop. And I film him, run off. I said, you got him, because it sounded like a hit. And Ryan runs over to me. Did he go down?
Did he go down?
We
had a Luke Brown moment.
Oh, yeah, and it was awesome. And, dude, we were just so fired up. And literally the last 5 minutes of our hunt, I'm way up on gain, everything we could do. We came and kind of gathered our thoughts. We eased over there real slow to where the arrow was. I thought I heard the bull go down, but anyway, found blood immediately, gave him about 45 minutes, eased down there, and the bull was right there. And I'm going to tell you, that was just something else. If you've never done it, and especially like if you're a turkey hunter from the South, you get it. It's like we made that happen. He didn't run in there like an idiot or whatever, which would have been fun too. But I mean, we made that happen. And I feel like that's something that I don't think I'm even close to there. I feel like I could get good at elk hunting. Because, no terrain, no animals, no turkeys, and like, good Lord, it's just a fun time, man. And that was a fun hunt. Ended up being the limping bull, really good bull. Not going to score a whole lot. He was missing a 3, so he's like a 6x4, but just a big beast and a heck of an archery bull. And I know Ryan is probably as proud of that bull as any bull he's killed, and he's killed several really good ones. So we'll be back hopefully next year. But what a fun hunt and a fun experience, and the camp was great. The food was great. It was a good time.
Yeah, camp's always about who you share it with. And the people at that camp were a lot of fun to be around.
All right. Well, we fly back, and immediately a day after we get back, the first ever Mississippi velvet season, and we're pumped up. The weather is the weather is hot. Then I was thinking exceptional weather was opening week here, October 1st week. But anyway, exceptional weather. So we climb in the stand. We did not go that morning. That's correct. Yeah, we did not go to morning. We wanted to wait till the afternoons. And anyway, so an hour, deer started coming in, started seeing some deer. An hour and a half before dark, our shooter, Lucky 13, stands up, and we're looking at him down through the timber, 150 yards. And we're like, oh, yeah, it's happening. Well, anyway, we had some deer feeding up under us, and it's like he got an angle where he could see back in that hole where those deer were feeding. And the deer that were feeding under us had eased off in the woods 40, 50 yards. I don't know if they were eating acorns or just being deer, but he just never made it over there. And finally, he hooked up with some other deer, and we have not seen Lucky 13 in person since.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'd bet you the bank. As soon as
I thought we would at least got an opportunity to get in there close, but he did not want to. He didn't want to do it. We hunted him another day, and then came over here towards the house the last day, and had a good velvet season. Looking on social media and stuff, there was not as many deer shot as I thought there would be. We did not have a lot of stuff moving in good daylight. He was. But we're hunting smart, not hard, early season, as we're still in early season. And we didn't get it done there velvet season, but I had a good time. I can't wait to do it again next year. Of course, I hope they do it again next year. All right. Well, right after that, we start opening week here. So opening week here, October 1st, that week is usually one of our favorite weeks to hunt. We usually always get us a deer. We have transitioned to hunting a deer over here at another place and over here by my house. And big mature deer, no real well 5-year-old, not a big giant, but a good mature deer. And this dude has our number.
He knows. He knows something's up.
Like,
he watches your truck.
He watches my truck or something. If we don't go, he comes on camera in good daylight. If we go, he doesn't show. And actually, I think the opening opening day, I think we saw, opening day, remember we saw him after dark, but hogs were squealing and messing, and we've been fighting hogs everywhere. That's been a real issue. In fact, we got us a pig brig trap, and we're going to let you know how that turns out. But anyway, we've been hunting him off and on. It's been real fun to hunt so close to the house right here. We've had incredible hunts, see a bunch of deer every time. I've shot bunches of hogs. I don't even know. Between thermal and bow, we've shot bunches of hogs. Yep. We shot 2 the other afternoon, last time we hunted. So we've had a good time. Opening day, my buddy Forrest did kill a big mature buck that we had on camera, big 9-point. We helped him get him out the woods, and we've hunted together, him and I, for 20 years, and it's always fun to hunt with your friends. When he doesn't get to hunt near as much as we do, and he came down and hunted and got him a good deer, so we were pumped up for him. And we're gonna kind of be doing that the rest of October. Is how we always do. We hunt smart, not hard. If they're coming in daylight, we go hunt them. If they're not, we stay working and prepare. We check camera way more than we check, we go hunting. And these are the days with cell cameras, we check camera sitting in the bed in the morning
it's
at
easy
night.
to do. Yeah.
All right. All summer here in Southwest Mississippi, it was super wet. Couldn't get any dozer work done. Couldn't get any timber cut. All these things, and it was super wet. Well, as I probably said on a podcast or predicted in person, I know I did, everybody's trying to plant right now, and it is dry as a bone. So dry that today we burned one of our fields off getting ready to plant it, and the fire jumped, and we've been fighting a little fire today. Everybody's safe. Everybody's good.
With the rain and with blacktop.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how that's possible.
Yeah, it just dry, and we're still burning a little timber out there. We're going to watch it. I think it's going to be fine. But we're supposed to get rain this week and some next week. So we didn't risk the farm, but we planted 7 acres here at the house. We're going to actually do another podcast here soon about what to plant and why we planted. But anyway, I planted Dixie 6, Backwoods Dixie 6 here at the house. A lot of oats, a lot of mostly wheat, oats. It's got some ryegrass in it, which those are the big 3 around here in the South. Now I'm talking about the South down here where we hunt. Those are the big 3. You're going to be hunting over a green food plot with those 3. All right. Then you've got that's 3. Then you've got Australian winter peas, some crimson clover, which gives your nitrogen back to the soil and good for the spring, and it's got some rape in it. So, around everywhere's different. Now look, and I'm gonna get into this more. I'm not gonna give away the farm. We'll do another podcast, a short one on what to plant, like how everywhere's different. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I planted that because I have a lot of cow fields around my area, big ryegrass fields, and I want a better product out there than just straight ryegrass or something like that. And the Dixie 6 give me oats and wheat and ryegrass. So I know I'm going to have good you don't want to be hunting dirt, and you're going to be hunting good stuff. And I'm going to say, I'll really let y'all know after this season, but from my experience, talking to Cody, talking to clients, Dixie 6 is one of my favorites here around the house. Now, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. We'll do that in the next episode. Okay. So anyway, that's what we did. We didn't risk the farm. I still got a lot of stuff to plant. I'm going to let it rain, and then we're going to plant some of our bigger destination type fields, like in front of my house and some over at the lease. All right. We're going to do, real estate update. The market's still really good. I talked to everybody on our team there at Southern States Realty. And the consensus is, hey, maybe it slowed down a little bit. I'm not there yet. I think that we're still wide open busy. If you get a good listing, your phone rings off the hook. The problem is good listings are hard to get right now. Things are selling fast. They're selling for expensive. We still have an inventory problem. We still have a lot of people trying to buy right now. So it's still a really good time to sell. And it's still a really good time to buy, because I don't think, even with these interest rates that have peaked up. Now, I know that this 2.5% and 3.5% interest rates that we were used to a year ago, that's abnormal. What we have now, a six or so interest rate, 6%, 6.5, somewhere in there. That's normal. I mean, you didn't miss the boat if you didn't get a 3%. What we have now is normal. We just got spoiled. Land is still going to appreciate faster than that interest rate. Our land here in Southwest Mississippi, we have a lot of external factors with Baton Rouge growing this way and people wanting to get out of the city, and we've still got a great market. And I'll put our market against any market. We've got a great recreational market and a small residential for people wanting to have 20 acres to put a house on, something like that. Would you've been helping with real estate. Caleb has his license now. I mean, what's your opinion of that, of the State of the Union, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, so I wouldn't have been able to really give you anything on it, probably 3 months ago, but it just seems, just like you were saying, low inventory, high demand. So, everything's selling for a little bit more, and interest rates are starting to affect some people. I went to Morehouse Parish yesterday and shook a lot of hands, talked to a lot of people about buying land, and that was probably the most common negative thing that came up in conversation was the rise in interest rates. Now, with that being said, I don't think they're going to go up extremely high. I mean, like you say, I think we're just getting back to a normal market. So with that, I would not be scared to continue to put my money in land. It is going to appreciate faster than it's going to in the bank, and it is going to go up faster than the interest rate.
We believe in land. I own more land right now than I ever have in my life. I'll put my money where my mouth is, and looking to purchase more. I've got an offer on a piece of Missouri right now. I don't think my wife knows that. So if you're listening, Laura, we may own another piece of land in Missouri. I know you're so excited. Anyway, the market is good. Small tracts are selling fast. We still have a lot of good stuff for sale. That 167 I got in Amite County just dropped the price on it. Hammer deer on camera, a couple of them. And you could be hunting him this fall. In fact, we did plant the food plots today out there. And we've got the 467 in Concordia Parish, duck deer combo track. Wow, what a great track. I think if Caleb had the money, he'd buy it tomorrow.
No doubt.
Good stuff. I had a little 43-acre tract that I owned that it went on the market for 1 day. Contracted like 96% of asking price, and it to the first guy who looked at it. So good stuff like that sells fast. Got a lot of activity on our stuff up in Missouri right now. A lot of activity. Speaking of Missouri, Ryan killed a nice 8-point. What was it, Saturday?
Yes, Saturday morning.
Saturday morning in Missouri. Was hunting actually a better deer. Saw him the day before, and then this 8 stepped out. He shot the deer. Then the bigger deer actually stepped out after. But thank you, Ryan.
He's saving them.
He's saving them for us. So, which brings us to Thursday. Caleb and I are headed to Kansas, one of my favorite places, and it is my favorite place to hunt whitetails. Hunted there 14 years in a row. Last year was the first year I didn't draw a tag. Went out there anyway with my dad and filmed him. Incredible hunt, favorite hunt of the year. Giant deer, big bodies, great people we hunt with out there. Cool terrain, so different than what we hunt here. So just a really, really fun time. Can't wait to get up there. Can't wait. I love bringing Caleb like on this elk hunt and stuff like this because he's never done any of this stuff. So it's cool to see it because I was there at one point and see it through other people's eyes, and it's fun. Just opens your eyes to what could happen. Now, if we do happen to kill there early, which we have a lot in the past, we got good cold front. And last night on camera, that big 12 point that Ryan was hunting did show up. So I'm just saying, Kansas, Missouri, it's not too far apart. So
double doozy, baby.
Yeah, we may go try to pull a 2-for-1. But anyway, we're going to head and do that on Thursday. We got a lot of real estate to do between now and then, and keep everything going around here as far as getting ready for deer season. Couple of things, looking back on the season thus far. We've had great weather, but this was something I thought about earlier whenever I left here to go check the fire. Probably the best weather I've ever seen for opening week or so of deer season.
100%. I mean, every day was cool. It'd be in the high 50s in the mornings, and obviously it would get warmer. But right at prime time, 45 minutes before dark, it started cooling back down, and it was just perfect.
Okay. With that being said, I don't know if the deer moved any better. I don't know if it really helped us.
It seems a little slow, doesn't it? I mean, even the cameras.
Yeah, if you'd have told me what the weather would have been, I'd have said it'd been better. I don't know. They're acting like it's 90 instead of 80. So I don't know if it really helped us. I don't know if 90, 90, 90, 78 one or 2 days would have helped us. Because I killed last year. That's what happened.
Right.
We've had basically a northeast wind, east wind every day of the season. It's north out there right now. It was a little south earlier, but I just noticed north a while ago. But anyway, that's not normal, and I don't know if it's really helped us that much. Now, a lot of good deer have been killed, but I wouldn't say any more than average from what I'm seeing. But look, we've got some really good deer on camera. I've got probably the best crop of deer I've ever had on camera. We're hunting smart, not hard. We've got plenty of time. We're keeping feeders full. We're keeping cameras out. We're planting food plots. Their time will come. I know most of these deer because, we're letting them get 5, 6 years old. I know most of them. So I know what happens in late November, December when you get a cold front. I've got pictures. So if you ever listen to Mark Drury, and I believe it, you say, okay, let's say there's a deer in the Big Ten. What do we call him?
Which one?
The 8's Black Mamba. What was the...
I don't know what the 10 is.
I forget. I don't know if we named him. We'll think about it. Anyway, Big Ten. He, not Fire Tower, the one over here. If you look at camera pictures for the last 2 years, with December dates, early December dates, with some cold fronts and stuff like that, standing in broad daylight. I'm going to have to assume that's going to repeat itself. And we got a heck of a setup over there. If he's coming, you can kill him. You can ingress, egress. It's a wind. It's a killing setup. That's why I'm just sitting tight. We're catching hogs. We're shooting hogs. We're biding our time. The deer right here around the house, I feel like we'll get there. The only thing that may catch up with us if we get rifle season, one of the kids may go ahead and whack him, but that'll be fine too.
Yeah.
Got some big deer over to lease, Craig and I have, so we're getting a game plan. We went and checked those cameras earlier today. There's a big deer that I got only 2 pictures of, maybe 3, that I usually get heavy on me later in the season, and he is a good one. That's Black Mamba. He is a good one. Big, giant 8 with a kicker.
Giant.
145, 150. For right here around my house, I saw a hammer. And big old frame.
8 point, 145, 150, anywhere.
Exactly. But this, especially, right here around the house, big old body. And I usually don't get him much till later, so he should start. I think I got a good chance at him. We got a deer over at the 167 we're hunting. Mm-hmm. We get him on camera religiously at night. We just got to have some kind of bump and cool front or something change. He just lost his velvet, so something may start changing, usually for a negative, but he's coming at night now, so maybe it'll be a positive. Mm-hmm. Maybe. But we planted those plots today, so if we get that rain, I don't feel like we've missed anything. I think it's like the pressure's rising, and when it gets ready to pop, I think we're going to do really good. We get a little cool front after a rain shower, something like that. We're watching them cameras. We can start risking it for the biscuit, stuff like that. I think that I think it's going to be good. But right now, we're going to focus on Kansas because that's some giants, son. We got some big new listings coming up. Some stuff I can't talk about yet will come out soon. One that is just wow. Hopefully I'll sell that, and you'll never hear about it until I tell you we sold it. Mm-hmm. It is just, Caleb knows what I'm talking about. It's just wow. But the market's good, and we're loving life. Kids, everybody's doing good. Lori probably be a little mad at me because we're about to do a good bit of hunting the next month, but I love her, and she, I really hadn't changed anything. I've been doing this since we met, so,
She knew what she was signing up for.
Yeah, and, she knows that maybe she's like maybe she needs a little distance, so she'll love me that much more when I come back.
That's it.
That's it. Claire too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we spend a lot of time away from each other right now, but.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to get out of here. We're actually going to film another podcast later on. We got a couple of things. We're actually going to go fill a feeder right now, check on this fire, and film another podcast. The next podcast, 29, is going to be we're going to talk about fall planting, why I'm planting where, what state, and just kind of, I get that question a lot, and I think it's, why, and there is no right or wrong answer on your place. It's just like feeding or anything else like that. You got to figure out what works for you. And that's what we're going to talk about next podcast. So as always, these things are brought to you by Southern Ag Credit. They take great care of us and our clients, and you should try them out. Hey, thank you for listening today. Caleb, if you'll hit that blue button over here, we got to go fire check on and our feeder to go fill.